much for our community. I'm pretty sure she's not aware that she's receiving this award. And so I would like to read why she's getting this award, okay? And Elizabeth Liz Jackson Simpson.
All right, all right.
And let me read you about this remarkable award. Elizabeth Liz Jackson Simpson is one of the rarest of all commodities, a native-born African-American, San Francisco. Liz loves San Francisco with all her heart. She was born in the city and raised in the Western Addition. She began a career of service to her community at the tender age of 13, teaching music to younger children at the Buchanan YMCA. Liz graduated from Lowell High School and achieved her Bachelor's of Arts degree in Industrial Design. Although Liz is indeed an artist, even art took a second place to her love of community. While at San Francisco State, Liz began working with the Private Industry Council, becoming an expert in workforce development and education programs, and eventually co-authoring the highly praised Youth Opportunity Grant from the Federal Department of Labor. The YO grant secured $28 million for youth employment programs in San Francisco. From the Private Industry Council, Liz went to the San Francisco Juvenile Probation Department, where she spent 16 years creating job training programs at Logcat and Branch for boys and developing reintegration services for young people released from incarceration. Liz directed the Juvenile Probation Department's Community Programs Division, overseeing millions of dollars each year for enrichment programs and opportunities for our youth. Last year, Liz took the challenge to become the Deputy Director of the Urban Services YMCA, and more significantly, the first ever YMCA of San Francisco Executive Director of Program Development, a position created specifically to showcase and borrow her enormous expertise. Back to her career roots within the YMCA, Liz is working hard to develop strong connections between traditional YMCA wellness programs and desperately needed social services. Despite her full schedule, including family, sons, husband, mother, and extended family, Liz finds time to serve as Executive Director of the Youth Guidance Center Improvement Committee, and as a guiding voice and strong presence in establishing San Francisco State's Multimedia Studies program at its downtown campus. Throughout all, Liz has enriched the one thing that every private citizen and every public servant yearns for, a good reputation. Liz is the go-to person. She has the golden Rolodex. She will get it done with speed, integrity, creativity, excellence, and compassion, and I might add passion. When asked, "What have you done for your people today?" Liz may well answer, "I've given my life to my people." When someone asks us, "What have you done for your people today?" we may well answer, "I tried to emulate Liz Jackson." And we have to get your name engraved.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Thank you.
Oh, come on.
Please. Thank you.
We need to thank you, babe.
One more time. No, that was too fast. Oh, you gotta clean your eye.
The natural side.
Thank you both. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Oh, wow, y'all. Woo. I just came here to enjoy this. Not to
Well,
be crying.
didn't you?
I did. It was truly a shock. My God, I was like, as you were reading, I was like, who is that? Oh, God, who is at the bottom of this? So a couple of people got their heads down. This, I have lots of recognition and certificates, but this is truly, truly an honor. This is like, wow, because it came from my people.
Thank you, babe. from your people. Thank you.
And you just don't know who's watching.
That's what integrity is about. Irrespective of who's watching.
Exactly. Because it ain't for me. It ain't for me.
We got more things.
Oh, God.
And Mr. Mayfield. You can sit down. And Mr. Mayfield.
How are you?
Is going to sing you a song.
Thank you, Mr. Mayfield.
Okay. I have this song that I have prepared for you. It's on the spur of the moment. This should be.
Okay.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Only darkness every day. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away, yeah. I know, 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 I know. Well, we can't leave our good friend alone, 'cause ain't no sunshine when she goes.
Thank you. I just want to, first thank God and thank all of you. 'Cause it would not be possible without each and every one of you in this room, without your guidance and prayers and opportunity to be in the right place at the right time. Cause I couldn't have done this by myself. This is just God and all His intervention, and it ain't over. So I'm gonna keep calling. Look, Amy can have me calling right now. Help. Okay. So. Again, thank you. This is wonderful. It was a tremendous surprise, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you for the recognition. Yeah, what's next? I want to thank my family too, because I drag them along to everything. We've been running around all day. We had to make all the stops. Plaza East, King Garden, Hunter Marcus Garden. We gotta go down and see the baby sing down at Bill Graham all day. Every day has just been trying to figure out what else can we do and how can we help, and it's a labor of love. So thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming out and supporting me.
Yes, we do, baby.
I'm so glad to be back in the community. Yes, indeed. Thank you.
It's really such a an emotional roller coaster, ups and downs, just at this trying time right now. And Terry Rogers being, we're gonna make the way tonight also, brother to just get killed at the Sacred Heart facility, watching his daughter, play basketball. And I mean, it's been up and down. It's been really, really emotional, you know what I mean? And the year started out like, we're just holding on, man, just holding on. God's gonna take the hand.
That's right. That's an issue we're going to have to deal with. We are going to have to deal with violence in our community. We can't talk about putting more police on the street. That's not what it's about. We are going to have to deal with it. And we are going to have to stop tolerating illegality among us. It's true. And we do tolerate it. That's so true. It's always somebody's brother that we know or somebody's sister. No, if it's wrong, it's got to be wrong. That's right. You can't build a community around wrong. It's got to be around right. And we have to make that decision very clear. And we have not. That's my sermon.
Yes, this is wonderful. Yes.
That's in the name of one of the greatest human beings who ever lived.
Here. Yes, thank you so much. Truly.
Thank you. Anybody else have any statements you want to make to this lovely lady?
I don't have a statement to make to her, but I think that we should take a minute to talk about Rich. Maybe someone could just talk a little bit about
What he stood for? who he was? Who was it to you?
He was like a surrogate dad.
I think that summed Rich up for really what he was about. He was a surrogate father to so many in our community who didn't have a father. So many young people have been influenced by my husband. It's incredible. I still have people come to me and say, Mr. Richardson told me, or Mr. Richardson told me to go back to school and learn something. Yeah. He made his mark. Anybody else?
Yes, I'd like to say something about Rich.
Oh, you're one of the young men he influenced.
Rich was he was incredible, obviously, but also Rich was one of those people that I remember the first time I got in trouble with the law. My mother said, "I want you to have a talk with Rich," and I said, "Can't you just beat me? Why don't you just beat me?" as opposed to talking to Rich, because Rich is one of those men that you never want to disappoint. You know, he was such a powerful, positive, genuine, honest, kind, caring. I mean, I could go on and on. Rich not only was a father to me, a grandfather, but also to my mother. My mother, I remember she used to go out of her way for birthdays for Rich and Father's Day.
Never remembered mine.
But if Rich's birthday was coming, she'd have to have a gift for Rich. You know, it was he was Rich. It's really hard to describe what Rich meant and what he still stands for. And Ray, what you stand for. But Rich was incredible. Scary to ride in the car with, but so love Rich, love you, Ray.
Thank you.
And thank you.
No, I'd like to ask Ahimsa that you said he had this influence on you. Do you remember anything that you were going left and he made you take a right or something pivotal? Or?
Well, I came to Marcus Books to work. I think I was 17 or 18 years old, and it was like opening up a universe because I, like many African American youth, had been taught that Black people had not had a significant influence on, American history, American society, or global events. And just spending time in this bookstore, it became clear that our impact had been incredible. The book that Rich published on the influences of African Americans and Africans worldwide is one that I encourage everybody to read. But I don't think it's the issue of my personal experience with Rich. I think I can sum it up by what we used to say at State, that Rich looks like God. Do you guys remember that quote? Rich looked like God. Rich was an Aries, and he had this, this white hair and a temperament. And one of the stories I like, what Rich used to tell was if you were working behind the counter, and he heard the door open, the bell of the door open, and if the cash register didn't ring within about 20 minutes, he would come out. But Rich had an incredibly commanding physical appearance. His physicality, I think, influenced people. His ideals, his vision. He established Marcus Books based on his belief in the philosophies of Marcus Garvey. He was, the publishing company, the weekly publication of the St. Boniface newsletter. He was like a monument. He was someone who was always there. And, he was always a very, very strong positive influence. And he has generations of children and grandchildren, very, very physically beautiful, very spiritually, intellectually beautiful people who are, his prodigy. And Rich is here.
I would like to ask a question, Dr. Richardson, and to all of us here. And the question is, you and your husband set up the institution. It's wonderful. How now can the next generation of us, community, support preserving the institution? for me, this has always been an institution of learning and cultural center. And it's only right for the baton to be passed on. I don't mean the baton of recognition, but I mean responsibility. So
By
Books.
by
so many independent bookstores are going out of business. People have so many different avenues now of getting information. But to me, it starts with the book. And you have this permanent record that you need to keep. You can get it off of Amazon or go to the movies even and get information, you know. But I think every child should be reared in a family that has a library. Every child. Always the book within reach of your imagination and your curiosity.
I remember when I was, I guess it must have been about 10 or 12, and my mom would bring me here. And we'd also go to the store in Oakland sometimes. But she always feared that she wasn't raising me to be black enough. And I never really understood what that meant. And so she always, this was a place where I would come and learn and become more in tune to my culture and what's going on and my ancestors and everybody who had paved the way before us and those of us that are forward thinking. And when she told me that, I told her, I said, what does that mean? You raised me to be of this world. I need to know a little bit about everything and everybody in order to be successful in this world. But she just really wanted me to always know where you've been, where you came from, your history, and be in order to be able to vision where we're going. So I just want to thank you, Dr. Richardson, and Dr. Julian Richardson, for this honor and this establishment for us.
You know, one of the first things I remember most about Rich's relationship with children. So many children got their first book from Rich. He made a practice of giving each child that came into the store the first time a book. And some kids still cherish those books. First relationship with a book. It's quite a first.
I want to say one thing also, Rich. Given the days we go back in the 60s.
Well, he was your teacher.
Yeah. He gave me a
Well, don't get
too.
mad.
I printed the newsletter for the campus. I to the VP of the student body. And me and him had an argument in class about ideological differences. I got a deal. I won't forget Rich on that. But still made the dean's list, and I printed out the newsletter every other week too, till 1 o'clock in the morning in the gallery lounge, printing it out on A.B. Dickinson. Get it out. The old BSU hut out there. But you sit back in hindsight, and I was kind of, when Kathy we were talking, how you had to study to even discuss and get into an argument. And that's something that's not occurring. You appreciate it, you know. I'd come back, oh, that nigga made me mad. And you go and eat. I know he said the same thing about me, because afterwards at the Marcus, at the old store, McAllister, we were talking. But you miss that because you had to be thinking, and things we did 30, 40 years ago we're talking about this year. And the strike and all, that some people seem to still new and haven't even thought in how in time you appreciate folks and how special and how I was around an extremely gifted, talented group of human beings that our ideological clashes, they were studying, we were just sharing and talking before how literacy is the most important piece. That in the state of California, in the 80s, half of the babies, African American males in the first grade, never got to the 8th grade. Never got to the 8th grade. And it just slapped me a couple years back when I was at Southeast Campus. administrator for the Working Adults Degree Program, and I interviewed 256 Africans, and I only had 3 females. Not one African male was prepared to go to City College. And they needed desperately a literacy program because of the residual effect that I interviewed men in their 40s, 30s, 20s, cannot read. And that's why they're doing what they're doing to make a living, because they can't even fill out the applications at YCT. So it's just echoing to give them a book and teach them to read. By teaching to read, you can then learn to take care of yourself. And it's so important because now I sit back and reflect when I did longitudinal studies in the 60s, 68% of us graduated at San Francisco State, an entering freshman. Now it's 2.8%, and 80% of that are women. We have to go back. That's why I'm teaching in public house. Who's coming behind us? Rich saw it, us saw it, and it's sad to see there's just one independent bookstore. I remember Marcus Jerome McAllister and Bill Gray had the Moore bookstore on this. And I go to Oklahoma for special needs. Printing out the newspaper and it's publishing. And then back then I thought, I didn't realize I was in a renaissance of the accessibility of books. Now I come in, the books I had, when I taught Black Econ, I had Quantities of Criminals Active. And then when I was going to class, I had the red book in one pocket and the black book in the other. So my cultural nationalists and all the girlfriends list over there were cultural nationalists, and the Marxist-Leninists was in this book.
Yeah.
That, you can't even get the books. When I was in Ghana, I was at the museum and it's a memorial, and I'm looking at it. Geez, I read this one. When Dr. Kum, I read this one. And the depriving of knowledge and ideas is the most devastating aspect, is that you take away a child's ability to even dream because they're so stuck on the boob tube and Nintendo, where you take away creativity and imagination. And that's so important to us as a people, our creativity to adapt, to grow despite everything else. And that's devastating.
Dr. Ray, my name is Reverend Tony Dunbar. We've met 2 or 3 times over the years, but I just need to tell you 2 things. But one of the things that worried me most, one of the things that worried me most is the fact that we have become an electronic society. I began to fear that books would become all archives, that there wouldn't be any more writing, there wouldn't be any more books, there'd be no more paper. If it wasn't on the internet, or if it wasn't in an email, if it wasn't an e-document, a PDF or something, that we wouldn't have any more books. I feared the same thing about music, because music is now so computerized that I began to wonder who was playing the instruments, who was working with words. And
Hi. When did you see the child?
People on their phone got vibrators. Wow.
can't even hear
Put it on vibrate. It's silent.
So I began to worry about that, and also, so what a store, what the tradition that you are upholding does is it gives a place not just for a reader but for a writer. What happens when you are a writer and your tool, your instrument is words? We need somewhere to go. We need somebody to hold the book. We need to be able to publish. We need to be able to have it read. We need to be able to sign these things. We need to be out front. Somebody needs to read, but somebody also has to write. Without you, without the store, without the encouragement, without the neighborhood, where are the writers going to go?
That's right. That is so important.
Wanted to thank you for that.
Thank you. We need to encourage writers with ideas.
To take, allow the mind to take flight. You know, words are colors on a palette. You can do wonderful things with words. But there needs to be somebody who still loves and values and promotes the word.
You know, when I was a teenager at home, I had read almost every book in the Little Branch Library. And one day I saw this book entitled Black Majesty, and it was by John Vanderbilt. I will never forget this man's name. And I brought that book home, and you talk about having an epiphany. It was rather romanticized narrative of Haiti. And it just opened doors for me that I never had ever dreamed of. I knew nothing of Haiti, you know, and I certainly knew nothing of Christophe and Dessalines and Pétion. And that's what a book can do for you. It opens up the world. You can go, leave there running with a book. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Excuse me. I just had to say this. The first, talking about books, your husband published Stolen Legacy. That was the one that did it for me. And I just got to say this for us black folks that grew up here in the neighborhood. I grew up around here, born and raised, and people, nobody can discourage us, our youth. We discourage them. They already expect that from other people. The ones that down us is us. When we take our people, and if you need, we expect that they need to deserve it before we give them help. Oh no, they need mercy. We need mercy.
Yeah.
And
you know, we shouldn't be against technology for technology's sake, because it's raised the quality of life for all of us. But what is so discouraging is the internet could be such a tool for learning.
Yes.
And now it's become a place where kids go to play games. You know?
by design.
Yes. You know, and yet, I mean, you can go to any place in the world on the internet, and yet they just play games. You know, as if life is a game, and you don't have to be serious.
Right.
We need to be aware of some of the things that we allow to happen.
It's true.
True. Thinking of what we,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if I'm telling you what, I was just gonna say, I really do need to sing this song now. This is the one I need to sing. There was a boy, very strange, enchanted boy, although he wandered very far over land and sea. Little shy and sad, but very wise was he. And then one day he passed my way. Although he spoke of many things, fools and kings, this is what he said to me. The greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return.
I got one more suggestion, just one more. Can we all have like maybe a once a month book buying party?
Yeah, we
And
can.
then fourth Friday of the month, because we gotta go third Friday for the art show at Mercury's office. Or we can stop off here before we go there. Let's just say fourth Friday of the month, we all come and buy a book for someone.
Sounds good. Wait, I have a comment, and first of all, on behalf of the family, we thank all of you for being here today. Doctors Julian Richardson and Ray Richardson have indeed left a legacy for us, and not just left, but they enjoy the legacy, and we continue to make that legacy a reality. And that legacy is built on the cornerstone of integrity and community involvement and consciousness. So we urge each of you, and we know that you're out doing this now, stay connected with the community and always walk with integrity.
I have a comment to make. I just want to say thank you
This is, everyone knows, I will always say, this is my favorite bookstore in the whole wide world. Because when you walk through that door, you just feel so good. And there's nothing like a bookstore. In my retirement years to come in the future, I hope to have a cafe bookstore, just where people come and sit around and talk, chat, and read a book. And this is a cornerstone of the African American community in my mind, and everyone's mind who's standing around here today. And the legacy lives on. I've gotten to know your daughter Karen, and whenever we need a book for our students in the school district, we call Marcus Books. And the consent decree was good and bad. The bad thing about it had to be African American children had to fight for their right through the consent decree. But the good thing about it was during those years, those 10 or so good years when the money flowed, we were able to buy African American books for African American children through Marcus Bookstore. And so I thank you for that legacy. And I thank you for this bookstore. And it's just, when you walk in, you feel so good. And if you can't find a book, you simply call up Karen and she'll find the book for you. And it's just a good thing. So ashe, and thank you so much.
Like you would not have made it. You maintain us.
I do want to make a comment myself. I seen in the paper about the Marcus Bookstore in Oakland, and it talked about the development of the new developers that's coming in the neighborhood in Oakland. They started here in San Francisco, now they move over to Oakland. The Marcus Bookstore has been an economic development center. The last one here, one of the last ones here, except for Chicago's barbershop, but I think it's time that we drive back to get some more African American businesses back on Fillmore Street. We got so many sushi restaurants and everything else, but we don't have any business that we can call our own. I feel like we can come in here, this is a business that we all run. This is our business. But if we don't have any more businesses out here, then they're going to slowly come down this block. And next thing you know, they're going to be trying to buy Marcus Bookstores up out of here. So we don't get involved and try to bring some more economics back into our neighborhood, we can forget about doing these celebrations and things. Because they're going to come down here, and I'm sure they already got some offers to try to get up out of here. But I'm just saying we need to get more involved to bring the economics back into our neighborhood.
And we, the bookstore, thanks you for those comments, and we want you all to know that we are a part of the development in Oakland. We own the property here. We're not moving. We're here to stay. No one buys us out. If anything, we buy other folks out. Understand the premise here is that this is a power base, and it's not going to go away.
In fact, we had a councilwoman in Oakland come to the bookstore to tell us there had been several people who had come to the Oakland City Council to ask them to allow them to use that eminent domain to take over.
Recently?
In Oakland?
Recently?
Yeah. So you're always fighting for survival. You're always fighting for survival. It's never assumed that you have the right to be.
Well, I'm going to be the first one to get a book now.
Wow. That was good. That was good.
Hey, why you came over there asking us who got it? I know. So because Carlos told me, and then when you walked over there, over here and asked my big mouth.
What's the name of that book you purchased?
Sweeter Than Honey by Mary B. Morrison. I like her as an author. She's from Oakland, California.
You know, and I just something told me not to say nothing.
This was beautiful part. Carlos called me. Carlos called me.
I know, but he didn't tell me that she didn't know.
So I told her, she said, you coming? I said, no, baby, I'm coming. Y'all go ahead and I'll see you later.
I'm tired. We left and we went all down to all the we got our last doctor.
Yeah, on the shoulders of the giant.
That's my favorite. Oh yeah, I know your son is driving. I know your grandson. Thank you.
Hey, don't you have email, Carlos?
Yeah, come on.
Send me an email.
You didn't get an email? I gotta put you on. I got everybody. Oh, you got this thing?
I'm just saying, like, the only, Miss Johnson said, stop by, we having something at Market Garden, because she always have it there, they always have something. Stop by.
All the bread.
Give me that baby.
Going?
I gotta go look for my phone.
Ross, I'm out. I gotta go drop Miss Johnson off.
Okay, what's your
You need a ride or you good? Okay. No, I'm going I didn't read that, y'all. Where's your button?
Yeah, good. I've got it right here. I'm going to put it on. I'm not going to put this one cut. Luckily, the button has.
Well, not for me.
That's my heart. Put it back on.
You got ready?
Oh, that was good.
Together, well said comments.
I'm out. I'll see you tomorrow. Come to the location. Okay.
Oh, no, I'm ready. I'm wise now. But I do remember it.
I'm taping this right here.
All right.
Camera shot.
I should have known, yeah. Because, yeah, she's 28 now. Because I didn't have anything. But I know that's what you don't know.
Thank you, Charlie. Who tell you my number to?
Carlos, I'm sure you.
And maybe you didn't even realize what's going on.
I'm sure I didn't realize it.
Maybe you thought
Oh, I wanted to, hi, nice to see you. I wanted to thank you for just
I think you're That's on my style.
and my husband started a program, an outreach program, and so I wanted to talk to him about that.
Yeah, that's what
I'm gonna be back and I'll take you over.
I'm sorry.
It's a beautiful thing. Stand on the shoulders of the giant. Yeah.
Didn't realize.
My bad.
In fact, that was funny. You mentioned about Ron. Next year,
Yeah, I was asking.
A whole bunch of them was actually early ages.
Good. Thank you.
And they had
Yeah.
They survived the night's terrifying ordeal. As they wandered through the unfamiliar surroundings, they assessed the situation. This area is no longer fit for foraging. Leading the way, Wilson sets off back towards his own territory. Desperate not to be left on her own, Mozart follows. Though females are rarely accepted into rival gangs, now smelling of Wilson, she may stand some chance of joining the ring. But as Mozart and Wilson make their way towards the commando's territory, Henry raises the alarm. With intruders spotted, his troops are gathering. Wilson and Mozart look on in disbelief. But as they do, it becomes clear the commandos are squaring up for a fight with someone else. They're about to go into battle for the faction of the Whiskers group. With a full-scale turf war breaking out, this may not be the best time to be approaching the commandos. Seeing the action unfold, Wilson is immediately drawn to the battle. A commando's mate, whose father and son, his instincts to fight. From the sidelines, Mozart nervously watches. As the conflict heats up, Wilson is set by a rocket launch. Though they may have recently shared a tender moment, Wilson has to learn that in the Kalahari, all's fair in love and war. Without a single ally on her side, Mozart has no other choice but to flee, leaving behind her hope of a new start.
On the next Orangutan Island, get set for a rumble in the jungle. Dominant male Hamlet has flown the coop. Now he will take a shot at his title. Choo-choo, Reno, Rocky, or Dixie, the stakes are high. The fight fierce, but only one will be crowned. Orangutan Island, all news tomorrow at 9, only on Animal Planet.
Regulations all bringing more daisies, wonder days, and no leaking moisture with its gentle moisturizing formula, Johnson can make your touch even more touching.
At Ditech, what you see is what you get. So let us put some certainty back in your finances today. If you have an adjustable rate mortgage, call Ditech first to refinance to a new low fixed rate loan at 5.25%. Call 1-800-DITECH-1 now.
Zatarain's reducing the salt. Introducing reduced sodium rice mixes. We reduce the salt and give all the jazz. Jazz it up with Zatarain.
Love animals? I do. That's why I chose the Bellray Institute of Denver, Colorado to become a certified veterinary technician. It has it all. Hands-on experience, small classes, all taught by professional practitioners. At Bellray is nice. Come on. I earned a 2-year associate degree in engineering. Special diploma. What's not to love at Bellray? Call 1-800-950-8001 or visit their website. I'm your daughter.
Teamwork is the only game plan.
Put sparkles on it.
The game plan with DJ
Against Johns. As a lone female, Mozart could no longer define the desert. It's likely she fell prey to a passing jackal. Will Tunza and Tunny ever get a chance to roam free in the wild as nature intended?
Oh shit.
Surprising results coming up on Growing Up Rhino. 2,000 wild fish are not so perfect is the event will be available for the reading. But Carl has taken on a daunting task. The Spectre held as a blinded sanctuary of wildlife took a heavy toll, and for a woman with only one person and a handful of laborers, this was no easy task. The weight of her shoulders even more. Lima are Carl's primary focus.
Same spot where security was parked, now gone. That's what I've got. Security back. First vehicle that needed to jump. They switched up again. But most of the day they've been right there in their car.
That man he's walking down the street with, holding hands. That lady with the beads.
Yeah.
Snickers, a Snickers.
We ain't getting up there no more.
That is.
Yeah, I see his little gray hair ass. Hey, you know, Melvin got him a little four-wheeler.
What are you paying that for? Egg food.
You better hop that shit. Oh,
Yeah, weird. Everybody over here picked the Giants to win yesterday, right?
Yeah, you already know.
I knew it.
I knew it. Yeah, wash your money.
I knew the Giants were gonna win too.
You did?
I was going for the Giants. Right. And their defense almost beat them the first time when they played them.
Their defense was doing real good. Yeah, they kicked that. The defense did real good.
That wasn't even that why they lost. The Patriots, they was on some new shit.
Hey man,
they done something that I ain't never seen before. Some like they just trying to react off everything they do. So, like, say if the Giants score, they gotta score. If the Giants don't score, they was on some shit. Oh, we just gonna play around and stick with them for a second. That's what they was doing.
Nah, the defense on Patriots' ass, man.
And then they wasn't even running the ball. Maloney gotta touch the ball.
He got getting his
Oh, she got the bike right there. Them the ones that you stop in that thing and get the.
That antique bike?
Yeah, that one right there. That's the one. I want to get her up the hill right now.
Somebody right now, come here.
Barbershop, dude. It's on the phone. You gotta get up the
Oh,
hill.
he have a barber. We got a barber no more? Man.
They moved out.
Let's play big
Bring
bang
on
take
you out
over.
here.
I'll show you
No.
that I have.
Money too small.
Yeah, right here, look, right here.
Money too small.
Come on,
cut here?
Yeah, money too small. Take too long to make some.
That make people get frustrated.
Oh, Shiffy Chef.
Right.
Don't hit me. Wanna give me an interview? You gonna say something for the camera?
Sure, Raymond, how you doing?
I'm wonderful. How you doing?
Just fine.
How's things going?
Things are great.
You busy at work?
Busy.
All right.
How you doing, Marcus?
Just as good as you.
Very excellent. Glad to hear
It's
it.
not as good as you, better.
Glad to hear it.
I know, you too.
In school?
Yeah, just 2 days a week. A little something. It ain't too much.
Pretty good.
Hope I can graduate just like you. But
You guys take care.
You always have
All
a
right.
nice day, officer.
Thank you for that interview.
Who's that?